This is the WWE Smackdown May 2nd, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa. The camera cuts to Damian Priest backstage and he gets in Jacob Fatu's face. He pushes Fatu and Solo Sikoa as WWE officials break it up. LA Knight is shown walking behind them and his music hits as he walks down to the ring. He mentions how he said he wanted a rematch for his United States Championship. Instead, he got told he will have a number 1 contenders match for it. He had his match and it didn't go his way because Solo Sikoa came out and gave him the Samoan spike, and after that, Jacob Fatu came out and dropped moonsaults. LA Knight says that was able to happen because of Damian Priest and says he has no problem with Priest, but he knows what Priest was doing. Then comes Damian Priest, and they argue a bit over not getting signals crossed, and Knight tells him not to let his failures become LA's. They quickly turn on each other, with Priest saying this is just about him losing the title at WrestleMania. Priest tells him their match is later tonight, but he doesn't see why they should wait. Then we saw a match between Damian Priest versus LA Knight, and the result of this match was Damian Priest won the match by disqualification when Solo Sikoa attacks Priest. He goes for the Samoan spike, but Priest hits him with a right hand and LA Knight hits Solo with the BFT. Priest goes to the outside of the ring and clears the announce desk. LA Knight kicks Solo to the outside and Priest goes for a chokeslam, but Jacob Fatu gets in the ring and he lands a suicide dive onto Priest. Fatu with a running hip attack on Priest into the barricade, then Fatu and Solo stand on the ring steps celebrating. Then we saw a match between Fraxium versus Pretty Deadly, and the result of this match was Fraxium defeated Pretty Deadly by pinfall with a Phoenix splash. The Secret Herbice shows up in all black, in grieving over Chelsea Green having lost her United States Championship. Green brings up all this not even being American, and the GM fires back with the truth, that no one in the Secret Herbice is either. Green threatens to take him to the Supreme Court unless he gives her a recount. He says he'll talk to her about a rematch at some point, but actually, Piper Niven has a match against Zelina Vega tonight, and if she wins, she'll be top contender. Nia Jax makes her entrance to the ring, and mentions being happy she's back for such a warm welcoming. While she was gone, and Tiffany Stratton was running around like a Barbie doll with her head cut off, she was getting refocused at home so she could return and take back what's hers. Then comes Tiffany Stratton, and says she would cash in on Jax again, as it was one of the greatest moments of her career. Then she went and beat the great Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. If she locked up with Jax again, she would beat her again too. Jax wants the rematch and Stratton said she won't back down from a fight and will defend against Nia anytime, anyplace. Naomi, with her new music, comes out in the caution tape gear and says it's funny to see these two fighting, considering she was trying to get the title from Nia for months and it was Tiffy who kept making sure Jax kept it. She's not the sweet, good girl anymore, and she took matters into her own hands, took out Jade Cargill, and took her championship. Jade may have ruined everything she has worked for, but she's not done going after gold and she'll push everyone under a car. Then comes Cargill and the brawl breaks out and the babyfaces take the heels out in short order. Aldis shows up to give us the tag team match and it sounds like it's happening later, and Wade Barrett even calls it the potential main event. The next match happened between Alistar Black versus The Miz, and the result of this match was Alistar Black defeated The Miz by pinfall with a black mass. After the match, Carmelo Hayes slides into the ring, but Black turns around and sits across from Hayes. Both men get to their feet and are face to face as Hayes leaves the ring. Santos Escobar is with Rey Phoenix backstage and Escobar tells him his match at WrestleMania was a true embodiment of disappointment. Rey Mysterio himself picked Phoenix to take his place at WrestleMania and he blew it, and now the self-appointment, greatest luchador of all time, is out of the picture. Escobar says someone will have to take his place and that person has always been him. If Phoenix knows what is best for him, he will listen to what he has to say. Phoenix tells him to shut up and stay out of his business and says there is only one luchador in the world he trusts and it's not Escobar, and if he has a problem with that, he will see him in the ring tonight. The next match happened between Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven, and the result of this match was Zelina Vega defeated Piper Niven with roll-up. They cut backstage to Aldis talking to Sikoa and Fatu, and the GM was unhappy about matches getting blown up 2 weeks in a row because of these two. Solo said he should blame Priest for last week and Fatu is warning everyone to stay out of his way. Aldis decided the warning was received and his response to it would be this: a triple threat match at Backlash pitting Fatu versus Priest versus Knight. Sikoa brings up Drew McIntyre winning the number 1 contender match and being the only guy who should get the chance. Aldis decides he's right and makes it a fatal 4-way, and Fatu says he's all gas, no brakes, bring em all on. Sikoa claims Aldis is trying to screw Fatu over, and Nick says it's not me, it's you screwing Fatu. Randy Orton makes his entrance, and says he brings up John Cena and says while the world couldn't see him, Orton could. It took everyone some 20 years to see the kind of man he is, but Randy knew from day one, he's arrogant and selfish. Cena claimed last week he never had a family of his own because he was busy raising the fans' kids. Orton said the only thing he raised was the price of his merch, which the actual parents have to work a double just to afford anymore. Cena said he's going to erase the Orton name and everything his family did in this industry. Randy said it will have to be over his dead freaking body, and he claims to be the last real champion, but he's not, he's just the latest legend Orton has to put down. He said he's going to punt kick Cena so hard and it will fly right off his shoulders and through the gateway arch. But that's only after he drops him with the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment. Nia Jax confronted Naomi backstage about the two getting on the same page. Nia just wants to get back at Stratton, so whatever Naomi needs to do about Jade is her deal, and they can just deal with it themselves while staying out of her way, and Naomi just said sure and took off. They showed R-Truth confronting Orton backstage to tell him his childhood hero is going to beat him in their match. Jimmy Uso showed up and told him he would take care of this. Jimmy told Truth he is going to get his head punted off if he doesn't stop. Truth maintains Cena is the last real champ because that's what he told him, and Cena wouldn't lie to him. The next match happened between Rey Phoenix versus Santos Escobar, and the result of this match was Rey Phoenix defeated Santos Escobar by pinfall with Meteora. Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton were backstage talking things over, and Byron Saxton showed up to ask how well they think they're going to fare. Stratton says Jax needs to understand the title belongs around her pretty little shoulders, and as long as Jade stays out of her way, things will be fine. Jade then revealed she'll be facing Jax next week in a #1 contenders match for the Women's Championship. Tiffy says that's fine, she can beat Jax, and she'll just beat her right after. Then we saw that Escobar freaking out on Legado del Fantasma backstage. That's when Andrade rolls up to talk to him, and Santos tells him to watch his words. Andrade says he knows he doesn't care about Los Garza and talks about legacy, respect, and honor, but he has none of those things. Escobar insists on walking off with his guys, but they seem hesitant to join him. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Nia Jax and Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, and the result of this match was Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill won the match by pinfall when Jade hits big powerbomb to Nia to get the pinfall. After, the referee went to hand Stratton the title, but Cargill ripped it away and put it on her shoulder. Then she started to hand the title over, but it looked like they were about to have a tug of war over it. While doing so, Naomi recovered enough to hop in and knock Jade into Stratton. She took the title and held it up over her head while standing over Cargill, and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's SmackDown show? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.